We're gonna react to some school horror stories today, but I imagine they're nothing like the horror stories that I had in school. I wasn't the most popular kid, and well, let's just say my high school years were pretty rough. I came out alright though, and a little bit of adversity only makes us stronger, as they say, and now I am very, very happy in my life, and I owe it all to the experiences that I had. So maybe a little bit of that tough stuff early on in high school shaped the way I am today. If not, it still sucks to think about it though, because there was some horrible things that happened to me in high school. We're gonna react to some really some scary stuff from Spooked today. Make sure to subscribe to his channel, guys. Subscribe to me if you like reaction videos, and let's get into this one.
People say everything has its disadvantages, and the kind of job I do might be disadvantages to some extent.
Sure.
But it's something I'm proud and happy about doing.
Hey,
I work as a janitor in a public high school, and I've been there for the past 12 years. As a janitor, there's many things you get to see in school that teenagers do, and sometimes they can be quite shocking.
Yeah.
But we were all once teenagers, and we weren't all proud of the things we did. Students having intercourse in the bathroom, fighting in hidden places, drugs, and honestly, I thought I've seen it all.
I didn't have any of that in high school. Well,
I was wrong.
Not known.
It was on a Friday. I can't remember the exact date, but I knew it was about 2 weeks after school resumed, and as usual, I was cleaning the school premises. I was just finished with the hallway, and the next on my list was the boys' bathroom. It's always the one I attend to last because boys will always be boys. They use the bathroom in a way I can barely understand. I wasn't expecting anyone to be in the bathroom because classes were going on. The door to the bathroom is a very quiet one, so unless you jam it, no one can tell if someone walked in or not.
Got you.
I dropped the mop and my bucket. The routine was to check which of the stalls needed cleaning, and as I opened the door to the first stalls, I stumbled upon a boy. As I opened the stall, he looked caught off guard.
Okay.
What was weirder was that the boy hurriedly hid something inside his bag. I didn't see what he put in his bag clearly, but it looked metallic. I wanted to say, judging on how quickly he jolted when I opened the stall door, that it was some sort of drug or weapon.
Right.
But since I didn't see it, I didn't want to jump to conclusions. I quickly apologized as I closed the door because I honestly didn't think anyone was in there.
Right, because he was
He
so
didn't
so
even reply
quiet.
though. I thought it was
He
a
was
little strange
scared.
that he didn't even say, "It's okay," or
Right.
anything, but I just walked out of the bathroom. I didn't walk far when he also came out of the bathroom. I apologized again and told him I didn't know he was in there,
Right.
but again, he didn't say anything. He just kept walking towards me for some reason, his right hand behind him. I had a lot of things running in my head at this point.
Knife.
But I figured the only reason he would have his hand behind him was if he was trying to reveal a gun he tucked in his trousers.
Or
My heart was racing, and I didn't know what to say. I kept walking backwards and faster as he kept following me. Fortunately for me, the school bell suddenly rang, and students rushed out of their various classes, which was what saved me. I look over to him, only to see him smirk at me and turn his back, showing me he wasn't holding anything behind his back.
what?
I was instantly relieved. I just got pranked, I thought. There's never been any crime, dramatic accident in the school anyway.
That's just
so I don't know
weird,
why
man.
I would ever think a kid would shoot me in the hallway. I
Well,
went back to the bathroom after the school closed to finish up my cleaning. I had plans for the evening, so I planned to leave school earlier than I used to.
oh no.
After making sure no one was in the school, I locked up and headed for my house, which was just a 20 minutes walk from school. I just got a new portable MP3 player that I use to keep myself company while I walk home, so I was listening to music. After about 15 minutes of walking, the music I was listening to stopped, and that was when I could hear someone right behind me.
Oh no.
Of course,
It's that
I
kid,
stopped
huh?
and looked back. It was that kid I saw in the bathroom earlier.
Bruh.
I smiled at him, but he just stood still. I continued walking back home, but only to see him following me. At this point, I wasn't having it. What was this kid's deal? I walked a bit faster, on the brink of running, but so did he. I thought it was going to be
Was he
another
just
one of his
messing with
pranks,
him?
just like this morning, but his vibe was a little off.
Uh-oh.
I mean, who even pranks people like this,
Right.
let alone people they don't know.
No, he wanted to
I
kill
told
him.
him several times I knew it was just a prank, but for some reason, he just kept following me with a serious face.
Right.
Prank or not, I decided to start running. I rushed inside, picked up the phone to call the cops. I could see him still at my window, and luckily, he saw me making a call, and he turned around to run. That night, I was so scared that I slept at a friend's house.
I guess
I reported to the school's principal the following day, and I was never at peace until weeks later when he was arrested for illegal possession of a gun and a sketched out plan to shoot into the school in one of his notebooks. To this day, I still think that maybe if he didn't call the cops that night, he might have had tried breaking in.
He was on a power trip, man. When he saw that custodian was scared, he was on a power trip. That is some freaky stuff, man. That predatory instinct.
My name is Katie, and I used to teach history in a high school a few years back. And because I'm a lovable person, students always enjoyed my class.
Sure.
In different cases, I've seen students transfer to my class for no reason at all, and I get to see new students every now and then.
Right.
I've been seeing the student in my class for about a week, and because my class was always interactive, I knew every student's name, even the new ones in my class.
Sure.
His name was Carlos, and he was very quiet. Every time he got to the class late, and when he did come to class on time, he'd always sit in the back and never say a word. Of course, he'd talk, but only when I asked him a question. One day, he walked in the class, late as usual, and sat in the back. But there was something off about him that day. He wasn't paying attention in class at all, and he was very busy with his phone. He'd also look at me in ways that made me feel a little uncomfortable. He'd even stare at me when I wasn't teaching, which is what I mean. I tried my best to act like I was unaware of it, with the hope that he would stop looking at me in such a creepy way and pay more attention to the class. About 30 minutes into the class, he was still on his phone. So I called and asked him what the last thing I said was, and he wasn't able to answer because obviously he wasn't listening. I seized his phone and told him to come for it after school hours.
Sure.
I've rarely had to talk to any of my students, but I figured he could be going through some things that he might be able to confide in me.
Yeah.
And I can give him the best advice I could.
Right.
Later that day, while I was correcting the student assignments, multiple notifications started popping on his phone. They came in about every minute, and it became very frequent and obviously very annoying.
Sure.
The message tone was the bark of a dog, and it was getting increasingly frustrating as each message kept coming. I decided to either switch off his phone or put it on silent, but as I reached for it, I couldn't help but read some of the text messages that popped up. Yo, where are you? Did you get the duct tape? What would he need duct tape for? I thought. I was ruminating over the message when another popped in. It's apartment 302, right? Is she still in school? I felt a sharp pain in my stomach at that moment. 302 was the number of my apartment.
Oh my god.
I immediately felt the need to unlock his phone. I started trying random passwords, as all I needed was a 4-digit code to unlock it. And it just took me 5 minutes to be able to get into the new phone, which was 2222. After unlocking the phone, I instantly opened the Messages app with that mysterious contact that was asking for the duct tape. And to my demise, what I found was probably the scariest thing in my life.
They were plotting to
All their messages and chats were about me, and even some including my pictures. I exited Messages and went to check his photo gallery, only to see numerous pictures of me, most of them of me being in awkward poses, aka where I was bent over and my cleavage and other private parts were showing. I was terrified, so I dropped the phone, ran out of the class, and rushed out of school. Because they were targeting my apartment, the first thing I did was go to the police station to tell them 2 kids were planning on kidnapping me in my apartment. But they needed evidence, but I had dropped the phone in the school. I decided to rush back to the school to get the phone, but it was nowhere to be found. I decided to call the cops anyway and tell them, but of course, they said they couldn't do anything with no evidence. I called up my sister, who lived in town, and asked if I could sleep over at hers for the night. When I got there, I explained everything to her, and she told me I should probably tell the school's principal. And I did.
Absolutely.
The following day, when I went back to school and talked to the principal, he told me that he recently had the suspicions of unknown people coming to school, and Carlos was one of them. That day, Along with the following week, we never saw Carlos again. I was a little relieved, but I had trouble sleeping with the knowledge that I was being stalked by someone who knew my whereabouts. To this day, I still don't know what would have happened if I never read those messages, but I'm guessing it's something I don't want to know.
God, dude, that's so freaky. The stuff that happened to me in my high school was generally, you know, bullying, not really bullying in early as you'd say, but at my age, it was almost like harassment. You know, I was very unpopular, so I was picked at quite a bit, and it got to the point to where it was aggravating, and it disrupted my school life pretty bad. This though is on a whole nother level of sick, man. There's some kids, bro. Some kids are crazy. I mean, people are crazy in general, right? There's some crazy people out there, but it starts young, man. You see these things, these kids that come up with these psychological issues that can turn out to be some very violent tendencies. And thinking about stuff like that is so chilling, man. Spook told it really well too, guys. Make sure to subscribe to him as well as me if you like reaction videos. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.